Hey everyone, it's Coach Christine and welcome to this week's edition of Christine's Kitchen. So last week we talked about fall was coming, it was September, and that we would be doing comfort foods. So rest assured, we will deliver on that promise. Today on the menu we are going to be making a vegan coconut curry pasta. This is one of those amazing, rich, indulgent meals that is surprisingly very healthy. You can make it ahead, pack it for lunches, and it freezes well for leftovers. So we'll take this one step at a time. Here we go. So the first step that we need to do is boil a pot of water and add your pasta to it. You want to take your pasta and once the water is boiling, pour it in, and you will do that to a roaring boil for 8 to 10 minutes. Just follow the directions on your box. To make this vegan, we've chosen to use a penne pasta that's made from chickpeas. The recipe itself will serve 4, as does the box. So added bonus here, we're just going to take it. I already have the water going. And we'll set a timer for 10 minutes to continue to watch this.
Ta-da! Put it in the water.
Put it in the water. It's pretty simple. Really, the thing that you want to do with pasta is just drain it and set it aside because we'll come back to it later. Now here's where it gets fun. We're going to actually get in with how to make this really yummy sauce. First thing you want to do is have your pan heated to a medium heat, and we're going to take a tablespoon of coconut oil to heat up over that. So we'll just get this into the pan. This liquefies really easy and very fast. So 1 tablespoon here. Start to get that melted, and adding to the oil is going to be 1/2 cup of diced onions. You'll know that the onions are cooked when they start to get a little bit translucent. You will also be adding a little bit of ginger to it. So I have just a tablespoon of minced ginger here. And we'll just stir this up.
Stir it up. Dun, dun, dun.
And we'll let this cook for about 3 minutes before we take the next step. Now adding into this is going to be 2 cloves of minced garlic. Sometimes I just don't want to mince it myself, so I have a tendency to buy these at the store. Trader Joe's is great for it. They go into the freezer and they're these little cubes, so 1 cube is the same equivalent as a clove of garlic. So we're just going to take this and pop 2 of them into it. And then, let's get a little bit more out of there. Then to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of yellow curry powder. Sprinkling that in and adding this to the mixture. We're going to let all of these flavors simmer together just for another minute or so. And then from there, once the onions are completely translucent, we will add a can, or from your garden, about 15 ounces of diced tomatoes. So you can see here, the onions are starting to get a little bit more translucent. You've got these warm and savory scents. After a couple of minutes, you really can start to smell the richness of the curry. It's pretty exciting. My husband would call this smell-o-vision, but we don't have smell-o-vision here, so you're just going to have to trust me on this one. Okay, so now what we'll do is add in your tomatoes. And if you want to spice this up a little, you can toss in a little bit of fresh chopped jalapeno and just a pinch of cayenne pepper here. That's going to add a little bit of heat to us. Let these simmer for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back and check on the next step. This looks fantastic. It's time to add the pumpkin and the coconut cream here. So you're going to take a single can of pumpkin puree. Really read the labels. You want 100% pumpkin rather than doing the pumpkin pie filling, which has a lot of added sugar. Plus, it changes the flavor complexities here. So just add in your 15 or 16 ounce can of pumpkin. And then from there, we're going to take a single can, I'm using a dairy-free coconut milk. And so we'll take that. Let me show you how this looks before I go in. When you look at it, it's gonna be this thick cream. That's what you wanna scoop in, rather than the actual water that gets stuck at the bottom of the can. So really just get all of the cream out and add that in. There's just a little bit more at the bottom here. And that way you can see in the can itself, there's that water that sits at the bottom. So we don't want to necessarily add that into the recipe, just the cream portion. Now we're going to blend all of these flavors together and let this simmer for about 5 minutes before we add our next ingredient. I'll see you soon. So last step here, you have all of these amazing flavors simmering together. You're going to just add a little bit of extra to the top of it. Take 1/4 teaspoon of fresh nutmeg and just sprinkle it in. And then add 1/4 cup of chopped green onions. We're going to stir all of this together. And you are ready to add the pasta in. So we have already drained it, it's set aside, and we're going to take it and pour it into here. There we go. Don't be shy, come on over, take a look at this. And just coat your pasta with the sauce.
Look at those guns, people.
How you doing? From there, you can add a pinch of lime juice once you serve it in your bowl, garnished with a sprig of cilantro. But this is the finished product. Oh yeah. All right. You can either serve it up into 4 bowls and have dinner tonight, or just put it into your containers and have lunch to go. It's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's incredibly healthy. It is so rich and full of flavors, you will never know that it's missing anything that's not totally great for you. All right, you guys, well that is how you make our pumpkin curry pasta. And stay tuned for more comfort foods coming up on the docket for the rest of the month. We're going to teach you guys how to do a pumpkin chicken soup, as well as a really great healthy version of a shepherd's pie. So you'll have to tune in for more of that in the next couple of weeks. So from my kitchen to yours, have a great weekend, stay safe and healthy out there, and we'll see you next week.